Alright, if you just joined us at Steel Enterprise and Weekend on Enterprise TV, thanks for being back, and now to our main conversation. The Supreme Court on Friday affirmed the 5 years of jail time for a former federal lawmaker, Farouk Lawan, who was convicted of receiving a $500,000 bribe in 2012 during a legislative probe into the fuel subsidy regime. Upholding the former lawmaker conviction, a 5-member panel of the court in its unanimous judgment dismissed his appeal, challenging the decision of the Court of Appeal, which had also affirmed his conviction by the trial court. In the lead judgment prepared by John Okoro but read by Tijani Abubakar on Friday, the Supreme Court held that Mr. Lawan'S appeal lacked merit. The Federal Capital Territory FCT High Court in Abuja had in June 2021 convicted Mr. Lawan, a 4-time member of the House of Representatives, to 7 years of imprisonment for receiving a $500,000 bribe while serving as the chairman of the House's ad hoc committee investigating the fraud around fuel subsidy in 2012 in a bid to remove Otedola's oil company, Zenon Oil and Gas, from the list of firms indicted for fraud in the fuel subsidy regime. The judge ruled. A 3-member bench of the Court of Appeal, led by the court's president, Monica Domban, ruled that the prosecution failed to establish whether it was Mr. Otedola who offered the bribe or it was Mr. Lawan who asked for it, but held that Mr. Lawan's claim that he collected the $500,000 as evidence of bribery against Mr. Otedola did not hold water, because he failed to report the fund to any law enforcement agency, an offense that attracts a 5-year imprisonment at the lower court. Still in the studios with me to digest this story is Barrister Evans Ufeli. Thank you so very much for being here. So let's dig right into this story. There has been a conviction, and Mr. Lawan is saying that purportedly that the money he received was an evidence to show that he did ask for it. Now, the appeal court is saying that the first count and the second count is ruled out because there aren't any proof to justify, the call log, whether it was Lawan who initiated the scandal or it was Otedola who asked, Lawan to take the bribe in the first place. Now, the question is, how in the world did we absolve Otedola in all of this case, while he was the one that gave the bribe himself? So when and where is our judiciary making it look like it's only the person who receives the bribe is culpable, while the person who offers the bribe goes free?
No. Otedola did not commit any offense. I followed this case very clinical, 2012. You know what Otedola did? Farouk Lawan was the one who called Otedola. Otedola recorded it. He called, during the subsidy probe, they were probing so many companies that claim they bring in products.
Yes.
Most of them don't bring in any product. They could live with DPR. It was called DPR. And they come out with balance sheets, documents showing that they have brought in PMS and all other products. And then the federal government will pay. Then when they pay, they split profit.
In the loot.
You understand, the loot and all that. So in this particular case, when all the oil companies were indicted and the probe was on, Farouk Lawan was the chairman. You understand? So then so many companies were going to negotiate underground.
Okay.
You understand? Farouk Lawan called Femi Otedola outrightly. Femi recorded it. That you have to come and do something before it was played on national TV.
But the appeal court is saying that there weren't any of those.
It was God. What the appeal court was saying is that the person who initiated it, there was no proof whether it was Femi Otedola that initiated it or it was Farouk Lawan that initiated it. You understand? But as to whether bribe was collected, Femi Otedola was just acting and recording. He was acting and recording. even when the money, he gave the money to Farouk Lawan, which was now national TV now when he was putting it up inside his cap. You understand? And all that. It's 2012, you will see the videos on the internet. Yeah. All over the place. The evidence was clear. You understand? That's why the court of first instance convicted him. He got to the court of appeal. He started arguing at the court of appeal that he deliberately collected that money. You understand? So that he will be able to use it against some of the people. No, you got the money, you will not take it to any law enforcement agency. You didn't take it to CBS. You didn't take it to any law enforcement agency and initiate a petition. And then you wanted to use it as proof that he gave because you are trying to defend yourself. So at the end of the day, the court of appeal burst into that narrative. You understand? Because the jail term from the court of first instance was 7 years. Yeah. You understand? And so when you take out the other charges, you are left with 5 years. So you go to the Supreme Court now to have the 5-year jail term washed so that you can go scot-free. And the Supreme Court said no. The evidence before the court showed that you demanded for bribe. First, 2, you received it. 3, you concealed it for your own consumption. The argument that it was $20 that should be incorporated here will not make headway because you did not take that money and go report. Because if you collected the money just to show that, because under our law, both the giver and the taker.
No, exactly.
You understand? Yes. But in this case, $20 did not give that money to have his company exonerated.
So which means his company
was at the throughout the probe and everything. His company was not indicted.
Wasn't indicted in the first place. It wasn't in the list of those.
Incorporated. No, it was on the list. At that stage, we were allegation now. Every company, virtually all companies in Nigeria were on the list. They're trying to do a clean up. You understand?
Okay.
All the ones that report, virtually all of them were on the list. You understand? Because if you want to get a criminal, get everyone in that business. You know, because it's one finger that touch the oil that touch, that's on others. It wasn't all the companies that were doing that stuff. But by a level of allegation, you have to pack. It's like when police go to raid. When they hear in Nigeria like this, yes. When they hear criminals around the building, they cannot pinpoint really. So when they start profiling, you see they will free a lot of people. A lot of people, if you go, see where I work, see how they free a lot of people streamlined to. So what they do was profiling, which is not wrong under the law. They were profiling, they strike, and this man wanted everyone on that list to bribe him.
Oh,
that's what happened.
Okay.
And knowing that, some of them knowing that his company wasn't involved, could go that extra mile to teach him a lesson, because at that time Farouk Lawan was the most popular lawmaker in the House of Representatives then, 2012. But he was even being probed by the North for the presidency at some point. Very vocal and elegant. You understand? So, but he was caught up in this, and this is his political career ever since that 2012 has nosedived to the point where they have been grappling with this case since 2012, and now that was why he had to weep, because he is going to go in for 5 years. You understand? Which will be like 2.5 years.
So the question here is this: do you think it is legally sound? Do you think it's legally okay for an individual to make himself a bait, right, to get someone convicted? Do you think it is legally okay to have someone do that? Because if Otedola in the first place did not yield to that and bringing up or putting out a bait that had gotten Lawan indicted, all of this have happened.
There were no bait.
$500,000 is a bait.
Hold on.
Because if he didn't offer it, he wouldn't have collected.
Lawan called $3.
Okay.
You didn't see the video there. It was a popular case. It was like, let's say, a case of which of the cases we have now that's very popular, in and out, everybody's aware of it. It's just like that, a very popular case at that time. Okay, it wasn't a bait. You saw, just for example now, you know me, you are in government, you are the chairman, you are probing. and you are going through the list of the company and you saw my company there, you pick your phone and called me. Your company is among this. What you understand? Bring something.
So don't I have the right to say I can't give because I am not guilty? Don't I have the right to do that?
You have the right to do. He wants to teach the man a lesson.
But must he teach?
No, what he did was not wrong. What the did was not wrong. If you are a lawmaker and the House have found you worthy enough to chair a probe that has torn the country apart, that's why we are like this. So you wanted that 2012 probe saga to go like that without anybody being punished for what was being done then? Is that better? Somebody will be punished. You understand? You see, at that time it was all boom. But we're doing nothing with it. Infrastructural development did not increase at that time. Minimum wage was not even up to 30,000. I think it was 18,000 thereabouts. When was it increased to 30? I think it was after 2009. So they were just plundering the economy there, and somebody shouldn't pay for it.
So do you think we have
Lawan called on phone to demand for bribe? Not like Farouk went and said, please, my company is in this, so you know how it is. Take this money. Otola did not initiate it. He was called by the chairman to bring money so that they remove the company. I think that was wrong. It's better framed. It's better framed, yes. The penalty is okay. At some point, people should pay for their sins, and that's exactly what's going on.
Now, moving forward, do you think we have had a change of, lifestyle and in the life of our legislatures? Because I'd love to draw you to a case of the famous catch freeze of the mic. Yes. So, do you think it has changed? Do you think lessons have been learned from that?
No lesson have been learned whatsoever. The off your mic thing. One of the person who chaired the NDDC fainted at the place, and all those faints are fake. He fainted when Akpabio was summoned. Akpabio started making confessional statements.
So why do you think?
Why would the House? Because Akpabio was telling them that you are the beneficiaries of this fraud.
Yes.
That members of the House, of the committee, collected this money, that money. And they say, off your mic, honorable member, off your mic, because we don't want the public to get, the press and the public to get into the rot. In Nigeria, you set up a committee to oversee a particular sector. The committee that is set up to oversee that sector collude with the criminals of that sector, and they work in concert to defraud the country.
So the question is, why aren't we having a prosecution, even in that particular case as we see it today, just like we had it before during Lawan'S?
In that case, there's persons who have been incorporated now, who are still going through investigation, and they will prosecute, definitely. The case is not dead, okay? The case is still ongoing. The ESC are doing their job. Let them continue, except that the slow pace of it is what worries one. Otherwise, that case where one of the German, what's his name, had a long name, had said that they are NDDC, that monies meant for NDDC is their money, and things like that. We have seen where contractors were awarded contracts that were never performed. Those companies were not even registered, okay? And they say test kits for COVID-19. A company was awarded contract to import it. None of those test kits ever got to any citizen in the Niger Delta. So the NDDC was a conduit pipe to drain the country. It was not different from the case of Farouk Lawan and what he did and all that. The assembly will. I've had cause to take a matter to the House of Rep. A very strategic matter to the House of Rep that borders on the Warri Escravos and the oil and gas exploration. And I know what I was told to do by the House of Rep. You understand? So these things must be dealt with.
Okay, so one of Mr. Lawan'S contemporary at the House representatives, Adams Jagaba, said that it was untrue that Mr. Lawan submitted the money to him and as exhibit with a cover letter in addition. Do you think so many people are trying to throw him under the bus at this time?
No, it was untrue. We saw the video. Farouk was recording him. We saw the video when he collected the money, how it was, you understand, and all that. It was funds he collected for his own consumption. It's very clear. The video was played in court. The evidence were tendered. There's no, as at that time when that thing happened, there's no way Farouk Lawan would escape conviction. Evidence are overwhelming. I didn't come to you. You came call me, come and pay money. Let's remove your name. They had the powers to remove whatever company they remove. That one is gone. This is the one that caught him up. You understand? Only God knows how many other companies they collected money from and all that. So these are people who are not patriotic. So the long arm of the law should
take it its course. So finally, barrister, let's look at the jail sentence. Since 2021, I guess he was given 5 years. Just like you did say, he still has about 2.5 years to spend in jail.
Yeah, the 5 years under the law is 2.5 years.
Now, do you
because it's day and night.
Right. So do you think realistically that we would have a Farouk Lawan wearing the
yes.
the costume of
yes no. Joshua Kaloga was a former governor, was he not convicted? Joshua Dade, that was former, was he not convicted? Except that Buhari gave them pardon. They were convicted, they were in prison now up until they were pardoned.
So what do you think about his political career? Do you think it's ever possible for
him
to...
His political career has never been the same since 2012.
Come back.
He couldn't have done that because now that he's convicted, it's now worse. He cannot contest, he cannot...
So even if there's a presidential pardon?
No, if there's a presidential pardon, it wipes up everything.
Oh, okay.
Presidential pardon wipes up, all his sins are forgiven. That's the only case. But as we speak now, he's a convict.
Wow. That's...
you cannot hold political position.
Very, very true. Well, just like we always say, it rests upon those in authority in Nigeria to do the needful if we all hope to have a sane Nigeria, a Nigeria that we all will be proud of at the end of the day. I'd love to say my big thank you to Barrister Evans Ofele for being part of our show today. Thank you very, very, very much, sir. And for all of you watching, we'd love to say thank you so very much also for being part of our show today. Please do well to visit our website at www.enterprisetvnews.com and also follow us on all our social media platforms at Enterprise TV7. I am Henry Igwebika. I'll see you next week for yet another awesome time. Thank you for watching.